The Fraternal Order of Eagles, FOE, is more than just another fraternal organization lost in the shadows of American history. It is a brotherhood that, for over a century, has quietly shaped the social, political, and cultural fabric of the United States and Canada. Founded in 1898 by a group of 6 theater owners in Seattle, Washington, the Eagles began as a coalition to settle a musicians' strike. But what started as a pragmatic business move evolved rapidly into one of the most influential yet understated organizations in North America. With mottos like liberty, truth, justice, and equality, the FOE presents itself as a bastion of traditional values. Yet, beneath the surface of pancake breakfasts and charity drives lie fascinating layers of secrecy, loyalty, and symbolic rituals, including the famed secret handshake. The very existence of these secret traditions invites speculation. Skeptics might wonder why the rituals, the codes, the private meetings. Are they simply harmless customs meant to reinforce a sense of brotherhood, or do they hint at a more guarded mission? The truth likely lies somewhere in between. Like the Freemasons or the Odd Fellows, the FOE relies on ceremonial rites of passage, distinctive regalia, and a symbolic framework rooted in moral teachings. These aren't just traditions, they serve as psychological architecture for a deeper bond between members. The handshake itself, only known to initiated members, serves both a literal and symbolic function. It confirms loyalty and membership, reminding those involved that they are part of something enduring and exclusive. More than anything, these practices promote unity and a sense of shared identity. In a world that often rewards self-interest, the FOE emphasizes collective good, drawing men, and since 1951 women, into a space where the values of community and service take precedence. It is this unity, born from secrecy and reinforced through ritual, that enables the FOE to remain resilient even as many other fraternal orders fade into obscurity. But what does this mean for society at large? Can a group that prides itself on secrecy truly embody the democratic values it claims to uphold? Or is the FOE an archaic relic, preserving a version of America that no longer exists? The answer is not simple. While the rituals might seem old-fashioned, they serve a vital purpose in today's fragmented social landscape. They offer stability, identity, and a sense of belonging, a trinity that many modern Americans, particularly men, struggle to find. And so, the FOE persists, not because of conspiracy, but because of purpose. Still, its influence reaches further than most suspect. When examining the history of social reform in North America, certain names immediately come to mind. Martin Luther King Jr., Franklin D. Roosevelt, Susan B. Anthony. Few, however, would think to mention the Fraternal Order of Eagles. And yet, this fraternal society, modest in appearance, but vast in ambition, has had an outsized influence on several major legislative movements, particularly in the 20th century. Their fingerprints are visible in surprising places, from the establishment of Mother's Day to the passage of Social Security legislation. But how did a group of theater owners morph into policy influencers? Was it mere coincidence, or a quiet, calculated exercise in civic engineering? To understand the FOE's role in social reform, one must first appreciate its philosophy. At its core, the FOE champions the idea of mutual aid and civic responsibility. This is not a charity in the modern sense, where donations flow through digital platforms and vanish into bureaucratic programs. Instead, the Eagles take a grassroots approach, members caring for members, communities taking care of their own. This hands-on model naturally led the organization to advocate for broader reforms that reflect their values. Perhaps the most notable example of their political involvement is their role in shaping the Social Security system. During the 1930s, when the country was mired in the Great Depression, the Eagles recognized the need for a safety net to protect elderly citizens. Long before the Roosevelt administration formalized Social Security in 1935, the FOE had been actively lobbying for pension legislation. In fact, Franklin D. Roosevelt himself acknowledged their efforts and support. They weren't just cheerleaders for the idea, they were architects of its early foundation. The organization's Washington presence was no accident. It was the culmination of years of persistent advocacy. Another example of their influence is their pivotal role in establishing Mother's Day as a national holiday. While Anna Jarvis is widely credited with founding the observance, the FOE adopted the cause and amplified it across their lodges. They successfully lobbied state legislatures and eventually Congress to recognize the holiday officially in 1914. This wasn't merely sentimentality. It reflected the Eagles' broader mission to strengthen familial and societal bonds. But this kind of quiet influence begs a question. How many other reforms might have had the Eagles' fingerprints on them? Is it possible that this seemingly benign organization has been shaping policy from behind the curtain for decades? Detractors might see conspiracy, but a more grounded interpretation is that the FOE's structure, which combines civic engagement with personal investment, naturally lends itself to grassroots activism. Their members aren't just donors. They are local leaders, business owners, veterans, and citizens who can mobilize communities and influence votes. That power, when directed with intent, can be revolutionary. So while the FOE may not dominate headlines or command massive political action committees, its networked influence is a potent force, one that continues to shape social policy, often without public acknowledgement. In a world dominated by fleeting media cycles and partisan shouting matches, the FOE's quiet, steady work may represent a lost art in American civic life. Fraternal organizations once formed the backbone of American social life. Elks, Masons, Odd Fellows, Moose, all names that once carried weight in communities from coast to coast. These groups provided fellowship, financial support, moral guidance, and a sense of belonging in a rapidly changing world. Yet in the 21st century, most of these once thriving societies have faded into cultural footnotes. In this climate, the continued relevance of the Fraternal Order of Eagles raises a compelling question. Are they the last true brotherhood in America? To answer this, we must understand what true brotherhood means in the modern age. It is not merely about meetings or rituals. It is about connection, responsibility, and shared values. It is about being able to walk into a lodge anywhere in the country and be welcomed not as a stranger, but as a brother. The FOE still offers this. While many organizations have become digital, diluted, or dormant, the Eagles remain rooted in face-to-face interaction. Their lodges, often situated in the heart of small towns and working-class neighborhoods, serve as physical spaces where real community happens. At a time when loneliness is increasingly described as a public health crisis, and institutions struggle to maintain trust, the FOE offers something rare: continuity. Its members span generations, and its values have remained consistent even as society undergoes seismic shifts. Their commitment to charity remains steadfast. Each year, the organization donates tens of millions of dollars to medical research, disaster relief, youth programs, and veterans' causes. But even more important than the money is the sense of duty that underpins it. The FOE doesn't just write checks, they show up. The resilience of the FOE can be attributed in part to its adaptability. While maintaining its core values, the organization has evolved to include women, through the Ladies Auxiliary and later full membership, embrace diversity, and support modern causes such as cancer research, diabetes treatment, and child abuse prevention. These aren't just token gestures. They reflect a living, breathing brotherhood capable of change. So why haven't they disappeared like so many of their counterparts? One theory is that the FOE's unique combination of secrecy, service, and simplicity appeals to a primal human need for belonging. In a world obsessed with individualism and digital avatars, the FOE offers a tangible identity rooted in shared history and moral purpose. They are not trend chasers, they are tradition keepers. Of course, the FOE is not immune to the forces of modernity. Membership numbers are not what they once were, and recruiting younger members remains a challenge. Yet the very fact that they still exist and still matter is a testament to their enduring value. Whether it's a small lodge in Ohio or a bustling eyrie in Florida, the Eagles still gather. They still perform rituals. They still raise money for local causes. They still call each other brother and mean it. In a fragmented and rapidly evolving society, perhaps that is enough to make them the last true brotherhood in America. Or perhaps they are not the last, but the most resilient. Either way, the Fraternal Order of Eagles remains a powerful reminder that in a world of constant change, some values are worth preserving. The Fraternal Order of Eagles may not command the attention of Wall Street or dominate the political headlines, but its legacy is quietly monumental. With a blend of ritual, responsibility, and reform, the FOE has carved out a unique niche in American history. From secret handshakes to social reform, from humble beginnings in a theater attic to legislative achievements in Washington, the Eagles have proven that brotherhood still has a place in modern society. Whether viewed with reverence, curiosity, or skepticism, their story is a testament to the enduring power of community, service, and shared purpose. And in an age that often feels fragmented and transactional, the Eagles remind us of an older, perhaps nobler way of being. A way where justice, liberty, and fraternity were not just words but commitments lived out day by day.